Hello and welcome to Picture Astrology. In this quick video, we will talk about placement of moon in the sign of Scorpio. And this is a sign in which moon is considered to be debilitated. Or as the Sanskrit word goes, moon is considered nichast. And in this video, we will look at the empirical reasons as to why moon is considered debilitated in Scorpio and what does this debilitation means in the practical terms. And as always, we will also see the physical as well as the mental and emotional characteristics which this placement imparts on the personality. And before we begin with our usual analysis, let's have a few words about the debilitation part of moon, because this one word, moon being debilitated, has a lot of, stigma associated with it. And people who don't know astrology can get unduly worried about this too. So, let me tell you from the onset itself that moon in Scorpio doesn't mean that you cannot be successful in life. It also doesn't mean that you will be facing emotional challenges throughout the life. In fact, I have seen and experienced in my life some of great people who have had this placement. In fact, the person who taught me the most about astrology, and though he doesn't like, this formal guru or teacher relationship, but he has been one of the person with whom I've learned a lot of basics of astrology, has this placement of moon in Scorpio debilitated. And he actually tells me a very good story that when he was young, almost in his teenage, and at that time he learned from one of the astrologers that his moon is debilitated. And as this debilitation is called, neech in Sanskrit, and this word has very, very negative connotation. So what he tells me that during this teenage, when he heard that his moon was neech, he actually got very riled up. He was like, how can my horoscope be like that? And he started questioning things like, how can just this coincidence of being born on this one day make his horoscope debilitated one? And he actually started studying astrology from that day onwards just to prove that this whole concept of astrology, this debilitated exaltation, all this doesn't work. He really wanted to prove that astrology doesn't work. And as it turns out, the more and more he learned, the more he realized that, the hypothesis of astrology may not be well understood by masses, but it actually does work. And though he pursues a different profession altogether and is quite successful in that, yet he has good grasp of astrology as well. So I would definitely say he is quite a successful person. And everybody knows Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. He has the placement of moon debilitation in Scorpio. And similarly, there are many horoscopes I have seen who have good family life, good professional life, good kids, good material comfort, and the sign of moon in Scorpio. And needless to say, I have seen contrary horoscopes as well. So basically, in some ways, moon in Scorpio debilitation shows some challenges definitely, yet this is no different than any other placement. No placement, not a single placement in astrology comes without its own challenges, however good that placement may be. And the key thing is to understand the kind of challenges which this moon in Scorpio can pose and be prepared for that in life. And that's the real good use of astrology is also. It's not about getting scared and feeling depressed. It's all about getting to know your life better and being prepared for it. And later in this video, we will see what are those challenges which this moon in Scorpio poses. But right now, let's see or talk about what this sign of Scorpio is and why does it make moon debilitated. And actually, if you look at closely, this sign of Scorpio and moon debilitation is filled with a lot of paradoxes. So the Scorpio sign is ruled by Mars. It is a watery sign. The element is water. And the cardinality or work-wise, it is a fixed sign, which is represented by a scorpion as the symbol. Now, if you see Mars and Moon, they are considered to be best of the friends. Water, Moon is a watery planet. and water element is most suitable atmosphere for moon to be in. So these two factors doesn't point towards moon stability. So what goes wrong? See, it is a fixed water. Now Cancer sign is the flowing water, like a river. River flows, and in Sanskrit, or actually in Hindi, there is a very good saying which says Bahta Pani Nirmala. What it means is flowing waters do not accumulate dirt. Flowing water is a pure water. But when water gets stagnated, water gets accumulated at just one place for a long time, that is the fixed water, it starts generating many unwanted elements or impurities. So it is the stagnant water which generates parasites like mosquitoes. It is the stagnant water which can develop odor in it, and it is the stagnant water which can have mud and slush and whatnot. And as you know, moon is the storage of your emotional self. It is the mega repository of all of your emotions. And just this environment of stagnant water makes the moon very uncomfortable, and it loses its natural strength. It loses its natural equanimity, and people with this moon can become very skeptical, can become very protective, can become doubtful, or they can become distrustful of others. And that's one of the basic reasons why moon is considered debilitated in this environment. So you already saw that trusting others may not come very easy or naturally for this kind of moon, and this could be born out of some bad experiences when they trust easily and get cheated, because this moon in Scorpio can cause that kind of things to happen. But then the skeptical nature can also and does give tendency to be not just very careful, but also a tendency to really go deep into anything. These are people who are not just happy by knowing the surface. They really want to understand things very, very deep. And this is a great quality, like the story of the person who taught me a lot of astrology, as I said in the beginning. He wasn't happy just to say, okay, moon is debilitated. He really wanted to prove it wrong. And not just that, he spent a lot of time understanding passionately the concepts of astrology, and over a period of time come to the conclusion that yes, it does exist. So this moon definitely give really passionate behavior. They can really dig deep into a subject, but it doesn't mean that they are irrational. They are rational. When they see evidences, they do change the mind. But obviously it may be a little difficult than other signs to convince these folks because of the inherent skeptical nature. But when they see solid evidences, when they see for themselves, they do give up their stubborn belief and are willing to change the mind. So yes, they have deep and intense aspirations as well. And it is also difficult for others to gauge what exactly they are thinking. And if you have an enemy who has a Scorpio sign, then it will be difficult to fathom his next move. They can give a lot of shock and out to enemy actually. Now, one of the very important thing regarding this placement of moon in Scorpio, which if you have or if any of your family members have, is to understand that moon, apart from many different things, also shows how quickly or easily you will attain success, how easily your attempts or your actions or endeavors bear fruit. Moon is the fruit of your actions. And with moon in Scorpio, it is important to know that success will come, but you will actually have to work hard for it. And remember this saying that easy come, easy go. People who attain easy success are liable to lose that success easily too. And many times I find people who come to me with this placement, complaining about, oh, how hard we have tried and we're not getting the desired result we wanted, or the fruits of their labor is not up to their expectation. They're getting success, but not as much as they really wanted or expected or aspired to be. And then they start blaming, this moon in Scorpio for that. But remember, This is not a placement which will deny you success. In fact, it can give you really long lasting success. It can definitely give you name and fame which last for years. It is, the fixed sign. It can give permanent things, but it is the debilitated placement of moon. You must work intensely hard and dispassionately for your goal. And the harder you work, remember, the sweeter the success is going to be. So if you at least make up a mind and do not expect things easy in your life, be ready for hard work, be ready to give it all in, then this placement of moon will do wonders for you. Now, another thing which you might find in many of the Vedic astrology classical books, they say that moon with Scorpio, person will live away from the preceptors or from family members. Now, this is not exactly verbatim true. What happens is moon is your early life. Moon is your early nourishment, early care, which you get soon after the birth from your family. And a debilitation stage of this placement shows that there may be, some challenges in family in terms of physical welfare, in terms of money, etc. Or your early experiences may have some negative influences and so on. But again, a lot depends on how this moon is placed, meaning, is this moon supported by other planets, especially Jupiter and Mars? And another very important aspect of the strength of moon is not just the sign in which it is placed, but the day of lunar cycle on which you are born. So when the moon is close to full moon, then it imparts a lot of strength to the position of moon. When moon is close to new moon day, when the moon size is very less, or as it is called as Amavasya in Sanskrit, then the strength of moon is little less. So a lot depends on phases of moon, and especially if you have Jupiter either in Kendra or in Trikona from moon, or even alongside it, then it can very well take care of a lot of cons which are generally associated with this debilitated moon. But in any case, as I said, this debilitated moon is nothing but a call for you to pull up your socks and work intensely towards your goal. So thank you, friends. This was my quick analysis of moon in Scorpio. There are hours of talk which we can give about various aspects or finer details of this placement, and we will talk about moon in Scorpio specifically for different ascendants. So for now, thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope to see you again soon with more videos. Thank you.